Hello everyone, my name is Roni and we're here live broadcasting at you on campus and the IDC Center. I'm here sitting with my friend Daniel. Hi Daniel.
Hello, I am Daniel. I'm a student from Costa Rica here in the Sami Ofer School of Communications, third year communication school. And with us we have Keren from Israelunderfire.
Hi Keren.
Hello.
So basically it's pretty funny because we just met like 2 minutes ago. And I think it's important to understand that we're all here for the same cause, which is to explain Israel in a better way, that people from the outside can look at us live and hear what is going on, don't you think?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, it's the life of us as civilians in Israel. Israeli society is, as we know, we all communicate with each other, we're very well connected. And recently, with the escalation of events, first rockets even landing in Tel Aviv since 1991, since Saddam Hussein launched rockets to Israel. This is a very big development, and right now, more than ever, the communication between society inside of Israel is very strong, because this, if we manage to connect with each other, this will provide us more security.
Yeah, and I think it's so great to have so many students here in the IDC that wish to be involved and wish to advocate for Israel. And I think Keren is the best example for it, because now that we're going to introduce you, you're going to tell us a bit about the command center here in the IDC that was created, I think, 4 days ago. Am I right?
It was created on Thursday night. And since then, we've been working almost 24/7, trying to get in contact with more and more people around the world, and trying to get more people to help us get out the news of what's going on in Israel.
So Keren, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the strategy. How can we target those people who are in the middle? They're neutral at the moment, and they could be misfooled by propaganda on another side.
What our strategy has been up until now is we've been working with the Hasbara unit of Israel, as well as this IDF spokesperson's unit, and they've been giving us some information about what's going on technically in Israel right now, and we've been taking those documents and translating them into different languages around the world, so that people in their home countries can understand what's going on in their own language. For it also reaches out to the people who maybe don't speak English or Hebrew or Arabic. That way we're getting to a wider variety of people. Also, because we have this international school, we have people from all over the world. They can talk to their friends can talk to their friends, and we can all talk to each other, and we can also get in touch with other schools around the world, which we have actually done, and we're working with a lot of the other universities in different countries.
I think what you guys are doing is so amazing, because the fact that people volunteer and come and take time to just advocate for Israel is so amazing. Can you just tell us about the main thing that you're trying to get out in part of this command center? Do you try to reach out to people from around the world by using students here in the IDC who come from different countries? Because people don't realize that here in the IDC we have so many foreign students that can be in such great assistance for us. So what is the, I mean, you come from the States, right?
Right, I'm from Orange County, California. So I'm a good example of how I could get in touch with a lot of friends over Facebook. We've been sharing the Facebook page Israelunderfire, and once I was able to start sending that out on Facebook, I've had friends ask me, "Are you okay? What's going on? We're hearing crazy things on the news. Can you tell me from your perspective?" And that's pretty much what's happening with everybody, where everyone's friends is wondering from your perspective what's going on. So we're getting the news spread out more, and with people our age, we can really use social networking to spread the message, which is something that we haven't had in the past.
What you're saying is absolutely true. For example, yesterday during the day, I had many friends of mine from Costa Rica asking me, what is going on? You know, what is going on? Here in the news, we've only heard that Israel assassinated a militant from Hamas, and we've heard that there's rockets falling, but we don't know. We don't have perspective on what's going on. And most people don't have an idea that there's over 1 million Israelis living in bomb shelters who cannot leave. They're stuck. Even to go to the supermarket to buy food is a danger for these people.
So lucky that people even care. I mean, I have friends too who call me and say, "Are you okay?" I mean, even those connections are so valuable because people want to know if we're fine, and then we can let the word out.
Yeah.
We can tell them what's going on, and it's so amazing. And I know you've started with the Israelunderfire with around 200 likes. And how many likes do you have now?
Exactly. Thursday night we started with about 300 likes, and I think we're almost to 12,000 now.
12,000.
Almost as numbers rockets falling into Israel. 12,000, which is also a big number.
And besides dealing with the media, do you have any other volunteer programs you're working or coordinating with in the areas most affected by rocket fire?
As far as the cities themselves, we through the social media, people that live in some of these danger zones know what we're doing, and they know that we're looking for personal experiences. We've already gotten emails with people saying, my house was hit by 2 rockets, and me and my family are looking for a place to live, and we don't know what to do with ourselves. Like, my best friend from the army she moved up north just for this period of time because she's in the space. So we're getting pictures and videos and personal stories from the people that are actually living in the danger zone.
What influences more public opinion? Images, articles, sharing images? What you think is the best way to reach out to people?
The one that seems to be working the most is a lot of times these images with different phrasing, and it's also showing how the media can be manipulated to show one side. So it's a fine line between what we can do and like showing the truth and showing that it could be manipulated. So
probably you're also trying to create a balance because we keep on receiving pictures from the Hamas and from all those pro-Arab that wants to show the Israeli IDF forces as bad guys who kill, and we know it's not true. So we also want to create the balance, right? To show people what's happening on our side and not only to receive all those shocking pictures, because pictures can be sometimes.
Yeah. A lot of our work is also looking for different things on the internet that the terrorist organizations have been putting out that are and proving that they're lies. So that there was a picture you've probably seen over the internet that there's been a few pictures where somebody seems injured and then a few moments later they're fine.
He just gets up. I'm fine.
Like a soccer player, they always do that.
Exactly.
Pretend to be injured. You also have many cases in which you're using images, recycling images from Syria, from people who are injured in Syria and the conflict in Syria. Let's not forget Syria's had a death toll of over 30,000 people now. And a lot of the images from this conflict are being used and they're being framed as if the children affected in these images or civilians affected are actually Palestinians.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's incredible and it's very important work. Obviously, because
it's crucial work. It's a crucial work
to find these images.
Right.
Sometimes they don't even notice. You can see a picture where they put a baby, and there's the guy from the medic from Israel with like a Star of David, and they post it as if it was in Gaza. So wrong picture.
We were able to take that picture and prove that it was an Israeli, that it was in Kiryat Malachi, and that it was an Israeli picture.
Very important work. Also, they're even recycling images from earthquakes back in Turkey. I've even seen they've recycled images of Kurds killed by Saddam Hussein in the Anfal campaign, which is incredible. They're recycling images that don't even belong in this region, in this conflict. So it's very important work to pay attention to the propaganda from the other side and use it, like I said, against them. Prove the truth.
And I really want to thank you. I think me and Daniel here are so appreciative of what you're doing, and we know you've been working for 24/7 trying to create this information and to send it out, and we really, really want to thank you because I think everyone needs to know how great students here in IDC who wants to be involved and take their time to do it, and they don't get sponsored by anyone, so it's really great work. So.
And maybe you can tell us how, if people interested outside of Israel, inside of Israel, who want to volunteer, what can they do? How can they contact you?
The first thing that they can do is like the page Israelunderfire. That's where a lot of our information is coming out. Also, we've created a Dropbox account with all the information that we've received about what's going on, as well as in most languages that we have here. Every time we receive something, we work our hardest to translate it so that people can understand it. So you can email us at hasbaraidc@gmail.com, and we can send you our Dropbox, and that's where all our information is that can freely be sent out to the world.
Hasbara at IDC?
Yeah.
No, hasbaraidc@gmail.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we're going to introduce now a short clip, basically trying to tell you and let you know what you can do in 15 seconds here in Israel, while some people have to run into shelters in this period of time. So, Daniel, we're back. I think what's important is to remind everyone that our viewers that they can post on the Facebook page and we can comment and take the time if anyone wants to ask us questions or...
Before we introduce Alona, our guest, we just watched a video, okay, of the 15 seconds, which is mostly what people have in certain areas of the South, to reach a bomb shelter. Let's not forget Usain Bolt, who is the fastest man in the world, in the 100 meters. He's from Jamaica. If he runs 100 meters in 9.69 of a second.
Don't ask me, I'm not a sports fan. I don't know. But
this means, you know, that Usain Bolt, if he was 120 meters, 150 meters away from bomb shelter, he wouldn't be able to make it, you know?
I know.
And in these civilian areas, we have old people, you know, as we said, children, women who can't run too fast, different kinds of, you know, circumstances. I've seen people in wheelchair who cannot move. I was once in Esderot and I saw old people playing cards. They're too old to move, so they just remain seated and hope the rocket won't fall on them. So this is the situation people have to live with in a daily life.
Yeah.
Now we have our guest, Alona.
Hello.
Hi, so this Alona here is a first year, right?
Yes, government.
Student of government. How is it going here in IDC? Do you like it? How's this?
I like it very much.
That's good.
It's nice to be in
You can come closer to the microphone so everyone can hear you better.
Okay, it's nice to be here in the IDC. I like that everyone wants to know about the situation at the south of Israel.
It's really nice of you to come. Thank you. So just tell us about yourself, because I know...
You're from Kfar Asa. You said it's a kibbutz right in the border with Gaza.
Yes,
it's been very affected.
Sorry, it's actually 2 kilometers from the border with the Gaza Strip. I must say that the last 12 years or 13 years, the living next to Gaza Strip was not easy at all.
Do you still have family there, or you live here in the center now?
Yes, of course. My parents live there. My older brother lived there. I think from the 7th grade, 8th grade, I remember that it was the first time a rocket hit school. And
your school?
Yeah.
You were how old? Around 13, 14?
13, 12, something like that.
Wow. That must have been hard, but how do you take it as a young kid? I mean,
at the first, you know, it was kind of fun. You know, the lesson was over, the class was over. We ran away from class, but you know, after you realize that it's going to be a routine, it's not. You realize that it's not so nice.
Are the farmers in this kibbutz Kfar Aza under the constant fire of snipers?
What do you mean?
People shooting. For example, I know kibbutz Ein HaShlosha.
Yeah.
A few years ago, there was a volunteer from Ecuador who was picking oranges, and he was killed by a sniper from Gaza, from
Really?
Hamas. He was from Ecuador. Innocent.
Who's standing on the border and shooting inside?
Shooting at people from the kibbutzim
Wow.
in the border with the Gaza Strip who are working in the fields, in the orchards, in the agriculture. Does this happen in Kfar Aza?
Yes, of course, all the time the shootings. It's come to be a routine, you know. It's everyday talking, and this is a routine. You go to work at the field. Some people go to work in Kfar Aza fields, and
It's dangerous.
Yes, it is dangerous.
But how do you maintain a life routine? You go to, do the young kids have school and then they go to, I don't know, hang out together? Because it sounds like sometimes it can be very difficult to live under rockets all the time.
Yes, I guess that every time the kids go to school, you know, every time someone is, you know, take a walk at the kibbutz or at school, you need to, you know, to look after the, you know, the mamad, the
Bomb shelter.
The
bomb
the
shelter.
safe zone.
Yes, the self zone. You know, it's a everyday. It's everyday. You know, how can I say? Scared.
Threat, daily threat,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, we need to show great solidarity for the people who live in these areas of southern Israel, who never left, you know, who don't leave, who are loyal to the country and to the places where they were born, and don't let these terrorist groups scare them away.
I know, it's because I could never imagine myself. I mean, the alarm in Tel Aviv went off 2 days ago for the first time after, I think, 12 years. And for me, it was just a shock to imagine these people living there for their whole life, basically.
Yes, you know, and I think that enough is enough. You know, 12, 13 years is quite enough for that. You know, I'm sorry I bring up a little bit of politics, but, you know, we went out from Gaza Strip. What else do you want? You know, we just want to live our life safe and with no danger, and that's all.
Yeah, so I think that we can wish her and her family the best, because we really hope it would end.
And it's also part of the psychological warfare about. You know, we really need to show solidarity with all these great kibbutzim, moshavim, and other areas of the south who are very strong, brave people, and very courageous.
Yeah, very.
But I really hope that many of them decide to come north, you know, or to find places of more relative safety, especially those with children, because the rocket fire is definitely life-threatening.
Yeah, and there's so many people who are willing to call people from the south part of Israel to come into the center. A lot of people are interested in hosting, which is really great. You can really see the solidarity in Israel while things like that occur.
Yeah.
Don't you
Absolutely.
think? Like when I hear my friends want to host in their houses, and we call people if they want to come, you're welcome, right? I mean, I would love to host them in my place, or I'm sure Daniel would want. It's important for us to, I think, show the solidarity, as you said.
Because that's what makes us, this is the difference, you know, between us. Well, obviously, we're first of all a democracy. The Israeli government and the Israeli people is that we provide shelter to people who need it. Hamas uses people as human shields. It's a big difference. They're complaining. I've seen a lot of journalists complain, this is not fair. People in Gaza don't have bomb shelters. This is not true. I mean, first of all, if they don't have bomb shelters, it's because Hamas has kidnapped them in the Gaza Strip, doesn't want to make bomb shelters for civilians. In fact, they want to use them as human shields. That's the difference between us. We want to bring our civilians out IDF is dropping leaflets on certain areas of Gaza before targeting these areas to ask civilians to leave. And this is the main difference between us, you know, Israel and them.
Yeah, and I think on a brighter note, we should add that the area around Gaza Strip is such a beautiful area in Israel. It's so green and bright. People think it's like a war zone or something, and I think it would be important for us, for you to tell us, it's the best place to visit, right? When it's all over. It's great.
Of course, it's a very natural place. A lot of fields, a lot of at spring you've got kalaniot. I don't know how you say
flowers, amazing flowers.
Yes. Very, very beautiful place.
The production of fruits and vegetables coming also from these areas is very big.
Of course.
So I think we need to wrap up, but thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
We wish your family and all your friends back in the Kfar Aza to have a quiet couple of days.
I wish for that. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Don't you think it's crazy, Danielle, that we live in the center and we don't really feel what's going on back there at the south? I mean, for me, it's surreal, you know?
It's very difficult, absolutely. You know, sometimes you feel like you're living in a bubble, but the bubble can burst at any moment, like it just happened in Tel Aviv, you know?
I know.
Quite a few people spilled their espresso on their pants and then woke up.
I think I'm hearing, regarding what we said, there's a video now uploading by a guy from Beersheba who wants to show the situation on a homemade camera, on a video. So I think we're going to move our viewers for that video.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So what you hear back now is the sirens, okay, code red. That means that I have like 1 minute and a half, I'm sorry for the video clip, to just leave my apartment and to go downstairs. Okay, so here you can see my stairs. I need to stay right here and to wait until the sirens end, and then I have like 10 minutes where I need to just sit here and wait. Now this is actually the reality here in Israel. The rockets are right now launching at civilians in Beersheba. Not at military targets, but civilians. My name is Asaf. I'm a student here in Ben Gurion University of the Negev. I choose to stay here in Beersheba during this operation. This is a ridiculous situation. You must understand, where we just sit back home and suddenly the siren goes up. That's it. Well, actually, it's ended. So now I just need to sit here like, I just need here to sit down like for the next 10 minutes and wait. So actually what I started to say is it's kind of a ridiculous situation where I just need to go outside, you know, my normal daily life. And yeah, I mean, I just can't explain it actually. Just try to imagine you guys sit back there at your home with your family, you know, at job. Okay, another siren just went on. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm 27 years old, and think about all the people who about all the children that just sit at their houses, you know, at the shelters and just wait for the sirens to go up and down and just go on, and that's their daily routine. I mean, you just can't comprehend it actually. Yeah, that's about it.
Goes well, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
sorry, there was some technical difficulties. Our listeners, I mean, our viewers couldn't listen to what we were saying. The microphones were off. Now they're on.
maybe luck.
It happens. Well, now next we have Talia. She's from California. She's a student here and
IDC?
at IDC. You're a communication student.
Yes, I'm a second-year communication student.
And you came to Israel to study, and now you have this whole crisis, you know, gray situation going on here right now. How does it feel?
Yes. Well, to be honest, we're so lucky. I mean, I feel very fortunate that I'm in this area, in the center of the country, and not in the south. And even though there were rockets in Tel Aviv, I just feel that the Israeli intelligence is so incredible that we have the Iron Domes and the alarm systems. I don't think any other country in the world would be able to defend themselves the way that Israel is actually defending their citizens. And it actually makes me feel secure and safe due to this.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to ask you, you came here from the States. Do you get any phone calls from your friends or family, if you have, worrying about you? Because I think people out there don't really understand what's going on. They think we're bombed for every second and it's like a war zone, but actually...
There's areas of a lot of calm in Israel, absolutely.
In center Tel Aviv, it's pretty much calm at the moment. It's still scary, but do you get any phone calls worrying about your safety or...
Yes, I get a lot. I mean, my parents, although my dad's Israeli, so he's more used to it, although he still reminds me that I should always be next to somewhere where I can, you know, get shelter if I need to, and friends on Facebook and so on and so forth. But I think that actually a lot of the people are pretty, if they're not informed, if they're uninformed, they're misinformed by the media
true.
Coming into California. And I do what I can to try to do like Hezbollah on Facebook and stuff, where I try to show what's happening, you know, what's actually happening by posting articles and things like this. But I mean, I feel safe, and this is what I tell my friends when they ask me.
That's good.
And I explain the situation, but fairly secure.
A journalist friend of mine from the Jerusalem Post, his name is Ben Hartman. The other day he posted a very interesting status update on his Facebook, which was, I just went to Olive. Olive is a restaurant in Israel, and I ordered pasta. And the woman asked me when I ordered my pasta, okay, what's your name? And he asked, what do you need my name for? And he's like, in case the siren goes off and you run and you come back, we'll know who the pasta belongs to.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Just for people to have an idea of what the situation even in Tel Aviv is, you know,
It's true.
It can be peaceful, but you know, from one moment to another, people are running to the bomb shelters or to the stairs, or you know, trying to find a place to hide.
Yeah, I think also it's great that maybe I've witnessed a lot of humor in this situation sometimes, that people try to reassure themselves or calm their friends, so they write all sorts of joke about the situation, like I've heard a rocket fell on Tel Aviv but didn't find a parking spot, which is, you know, so sometimes maybe humor can be more understandable for the other side because it's not as crazy as it seems it is, right? I mean... Yeah,
exactly. That's very true what you're saying. Although I've given an image that I feel very safe, don't get me wrong, I was terrified. I mean, when I heard the siren, and also have a friend here in Herzaliya, and she saw the Iron Dome intercept one of the rockets, and also I was in Tel Aviv for the first alarm, and it was terrifying, and you don't understand until you're actually in that situation.
It's very true.
It's crazy that that's the reality that we're living with currently, but nevertheless, Israel does a good job of keeping its citizens, I think.
Do you have a lot of discussions in the international schools, in the international school here, between the students about the situation? Do you have some who have really strong opinions, or do...
Yeah, we do discuss it. Actually, since it started, we haven't had school. We have these long weekends here. But it's definitely discussed, and the majority of people share the same opinion, although...
There's free speech in Israel. People, which is the difference between our country and most countries here. People are free to express if they're for or against our military intervention on behalf of our protection. And people respect it. People won't attack you. People won't lynch you like it happens in many other countries. So, I mean, like you said, part of the discussion, you have a variety of points of view, and people respect them.
That's true. There is, I mean, because the majority of the students in class are Jewish, so they hold the same view, but it is international in the end, and there's people that don't share the same views, and they are free to express it, and there is that, you know, discussion. But for the most part, people do.
You know, for example, to show the world how Israel is a democracy and how we have free speech on campuses, in Haifa University, students held a minute of silence for Ahmed Jarabi, okay?
I know.
This is the Hamas leader, the terrorist, one of the masterminds behind the kidnapping of Gilad Shalit. And they held a minute of silence for him. There was no lynchings. Israelis respected that they took the minute of silence. We did not. No Israeli abused them because we are a democracy and we respect free speech.
Yeah, and it's important to understand that also there are minorities here in Israel. There's Arabs also studying here in IDC, and they want to express themselves, and it's vital for democracy to have so many opinions. You can't all agree with what's happening. So it's really, I mean, it's good to hear that there's a healthy discussion going on around it, because I think a variety of opinion can bring everything together and eventually create the picture that we want to show, that also we allow and we really support in various opinions.
Yeah, we have a variety of newspapers, and that's very, very special. I mean, I don't think in many countries it would be tolerated, included in Gaza. If students in Gaza took a minute of silence for Israelis who were killed, I think that would be a very controversial and life-threatening thing to do for them. So
true. So I think what I wanted to ask you as well is, do you have any friends here who are trying to maybe volunteer in the command center or to be involved? Because I know many students from the international are involved in the efforts of the command center because they were looking for people with different languages to translate and to help. So do you know anyone, do you have any friends who are involved in this?
I do know people that are involved, and I also have friends that are so eager to, you know, join their not group, what is the word for it? In the army, friends that are finished
from the reserve.
Yeah, they want to go and join and, you know, do something for the country, and yeah,
This is great. I mean, to hear how people want to volunteer and to come and even respond, like from abroad, people who are commenting on the Facebook page. I know there's a lot of comments going on from...
We're not alone, exactly. I mean, we even had messages. We had messages from even Kenya, people asking how they can help. You know, how they can help Israel, how can they support Israel in these moments. Well, about going back to the rockets, this weekend I had a family. I hosted a family. The family of my girlfriend stayed with me in my small apartment here in Herzaliya due to the rockets. Okay, they were gone. They sadly had to go back. You know, this morning, because that's it. You know, they spent with us 2 days. They spent with me 2 days, and so I mean, I think it's important, you know, for us to you know, really look at the perspective of the lives people in the South are living.
It's true. It's very true. I think also a lot of people from here in the center want to help. There's a lot of groups organized from IDC who are going to the South to entertain the kids who are staying in shelters.
You have a group of psychology students from IDC who in the past as well, they've been active, and they're going again this week to treat children, you know, with their experience in psychology, children who are already suffering from PTSD, post-trauma stress and depression due to the rockets, the constant rocket fire.
It's nice that you're speaking of it.
Yeah, I think I need to introduce, we thank our last guest, Talia. She was here. She left in the middle. We didn't notice. She was so great. We want to introduce Gali.
My name is Gali.
Nice to meet you, Gali.
I'm the social involvement coordinator from the student union, actually responsible for the whole international school. I'm Israeli originally. I studied international school because my mother is South African and just wanted the challenge of a bit more English in my life.
Yeah, not everyone in the international are international.
It's actually an amazing experience. A lot of Israelis as well. I started this year at the student union. It's an amazing place with an amazing people, really variety of people who want to do, who want to contribute, who want to make a difference. What we started while this whole situation started is actually open a mailbox. It's called Ezra LaDarom. It's helping the people in the South. And we actually asked for people First of all, we started from people who can host people at their houses. We got, seriously, within the 2 hours it was posted on Facebook, we've got 30 people already willing to host at the same, like you said, in their small apartments, willing to host 2-3 people. They said, we'll lay out mattresses, we'll do everything.
Yeah, so wait, I just need to understand. You're cooperating within the IDC, right?
Yes, we are cooperating. We're actually trying to take as many students as we can, also not from the student union, and we're trying to collaborate them within the effort of helping the people in the South. Now, this is the first thing we did. Actually, the demand for people coming into more of the center and Ra'anana, Herzaliya, Tel Aviv area has gone, let's say, less because of the fact that we also have
less popular.
And exactly. We do work with the city of Herzaliya and Ra'anana. If they need any people, they need any list, we give them. Another thing we actually are planning, it's more of the long term, that we can actually go down to the south and help people, psychology students who will get a seminar of about 4 hours, 5 hours of how to deal with, let's say, the first shock and how to help them with the first stage of recovering from what they experienced.
I heard today also there were groups going out to entertain some kids.
Exactly. Tomorrow we actually is our big event, which I'm glad I'm here to speak about, because we do need volunteers and people to come and help us. So this is a good opportunity.
So just say if you want to volunteer, I think we need to tell our viewers, post on Facebook. We can ask
actually
them.
Post in the next few minutes. I'm not sure, maybe they already did while I'm here. The whole details of where to send, what to send. I'll tell a bit about it. We're actually bringing around 350 kids from the South, ages 6 to 12. First grade to 6th grade, and we're bringing them here to IDC. We're doing a full day from 8 till 4 with activities. We're bringing capoeira instructors, martial arts and things like that. We're taking actually the IDC dancing group and trying to bring one of the girls to teach them a dancing lesson more for the girls. We're trying to find maybe a few people from outside from the scouts to come in to hold activities for them, just for them to have a bit of fun.
Release some stress.
Exactly.
A day of fun. Remember, for a child to be locked in a bomb shelter in the South, or to be running constantly every few minutes to a bomb shelter at night.
I don't think they're even running. They're just staying there because it's non-stop.
It's actually the reality of them having a few hours without hearing a siren. I hope. Knock on wood, but I hope.
We hope.
I actually recently spoke to Dror Mizrahi from Ashdod. He's the brother of my girlfriend, okay? He had 3 daughters. And you know what he's doing with them? He's pretty much playing a game with the little girls. The girls don't understand. He tells them, this is a game. When the alarm goes on, we need to run to the shelter. Whoever gets first is the winner. So the little girls are very excited now to run to the bomb shelter.
Trying to involve in fun activities.
His wife is very angry because she doesn't believe this is the way. The girls need to be aware that it's a real life-threatening situation. But I mean, it's very difficult with children. What can you do? What's the way to handle the situation with children?
That's what we're actually trying to do, is help the parents a bit also. You know, the parents sit the whole day with their children. They don't have schools. They don't have kindergartens. They don't have anything. So in the end, even the parents don't have a time for themselves. So even for these few hours, they can come here. They can play around outside and not be in the bomb shelter for the whole day. Even if it's for a few hours, it will help them, and we'll try to do that. I'm actually from the center. I live in Ra'anana, and to hear even the siren is very stressful.
Maybe you can give us an advice. How can we convince people to come? Because a lot of people in the South don't want to listen to. They feel like it's their home. And although, you know, it's very dangerous.
Look, I understand them. I wouldn't want to leave my house either. Yeah. You know, my dog, my things, like my whole being is there. But even for a bit, I'm not saying it's not safe there. There is bomb shelters. The army is working 24 hours, even 25 hours a day trying to protect all the citizens.
The Iron Dome is very successful, and intercepting over 60-70% of the rockets. So.
And I just think that they do, it's not a matter even of convincing, because they do want to come, and they want to come a lot. And the thing is, we can't even host all of them. So we'll try to even divide it. I hope it will be over by Tuesday and we won't need it. But I'm saying, in a case, we'll try to bring them a bit on Tuesday. We'll try to bring them even on Wednesday and try to to let them have a few hours of fun.
So I think we need to remind before we finish that you need volunteers.
We need volunteers. We need
for
to
tomorrow.
Help. Exactly. I'll just give a few details of we need to set up.
How can they contact you if they want to?
The mail is Ezra Ladarom, Ezra.Ladarom. It will be posted on the IDC Student Union page as well. If somebody wants that mail address.
Okay.
And just to send name, phone number, what hours they can help, even half an hour, even an hour can help us. And
that's so great. I mean, we should thank you so much for doing this. We need to wrap up. We have one more guest that we need to invite.
Thank you guys. What you're doing is amazing.
So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm reminding our viewers, if they want, post on the Israel Under Fire Facebook page. If you want to help, volunteer, right? We can tell them to post and we'll comment, and it would be the easiest way.
It's great that, we come from a country which is very experienced, I mean, Israel has treated people with PTS in Rwanda. Israel has treated people with post-trauma stress and depression in Haiti after the earthquake. And it's very important that also here in our same country,
we need to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's true. Jeremy?
How are you?
Good.
Hello, Jeremy.
We have a few minutes to get to know our friend here, Jeremy. I think we need to do it short, so you have so much to tell, so try to tell us in a way, what is your story for this operation or this situation here in Israel?
Basically, in terms of the conflict in the Gaza Strip, I'm here to help the French community in France, the French Jewish community, to update them on the exact details of what's going on between the Israeli government and the Hamas, as well as the security precautions that the Jewish community must entail during these next few days of the crisis.
Do you feel that there's a lot of media bias going on in France right now? I mean, people there are seeing the situation in a certain way that is not very...
Yeah, I mean, France does have a lot of media bias in terms of it comes to Israel, partially because of the large Muslim population, partially because the French themselves are a little bit anti-Semitic, and so whenever Israel performs any form of military action vis-a-vis the Palestinians, the media is sort of slanted that Israelis are, butchers, child killers, so yes, there's a clear problem. And then in terms of the media backlash, that when it goes very biased, then you get the Muslims rioting on the streets, protesting against Jews or performing anti-Semitic acts against the Jewish population.
Which is very hypocritical, in many circumstances. There's so many, not only individuals, but also news channels that hardly reported on the events in Syria,
It's true, like I said, and then Israel gets on every second news channel.
Absolutely, and I mean, especially I can imagine, like you said, France has a very big North African community, and most of the Muslims, and there's, I mean, a lot of people coming from Algeria, Morocco are already fed up, anti-Semitic. Let's remind Mohammed Merah, for example.
The Toulouse shooting.
The Toulouse shooting. He came from Algiers, and ever since his childhood, his brother's writing a book right now about how he was poisoned by his mom into believing the Jews are evil.
To hate the Jewish people. And that's one clear incident right now of the shooting in Toulouse. Another big one that was a few years ago with Eyal Khalimi, which was a French-Moroccan Jew who was kidnapped, tortured, and killed by a gang of black Muslims in France. And sadly, when the police found him, he was so close to being dead that by the time he was in the ambulance, he was already dead. But the only reason why they kidnapped and tortured him was because he was Jewish, and they said it because they believe that Jews have a lot of money, and so they wanted money from the Jewish community. But the family did not have money to pay for his release.
Yeah, so I just have to ask you...
That was one example of anti-Semitism.
A last question, which I think is important to understand, because you're not basically an original Israeli, you were not born here. Do you feel any sort of mission to try to advocate for Israel? Because I know you're doing it a lot. Do you feel like what you're doing is really helping the understanding of the situation in a better way, no matter where you're doing it, France or in the States?
Yes, it is very important for anyone and literally anyone to advocate properly for Israel. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of pictures that are being twisted, as you clearly saw from, the radio station right now, of all the different examples, even from the individuals that came on the station to speak, that there is a reality and then there's a media, and there's a big gap between both of them. And so it's very important for every single individual, whatever they can do, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, speaking to people, interviews, to influence it. And personally, in me, yes, I have been very involved in trying to influence many, Anglos and Europeans to understand the real reality that many Israelis face on a daily basis.
Absolutely. We need to thank him because we need to wrap up. But thank you so much, Jeremy. I think it's so encouraging to see how many people want to advocate and support Israel.
And the French Jewish community is fundamental.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true.
Their contribution to France, to the nation of France, and to the world is very big.
It's true.
And not only financially, as a lot of people think, but also in philosophy, chemistry, medicine, and many other fields. It's a very important
There's a rich
community.
history of the French Jewish people. They're also the largest largest Jewish community in Europe. And now slowly but surely, they're all making aliyah. I would say that's the next biggest wave.
Amen.
For the Jewish people now. So, but yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we need to tell our viewers to stay tuned because we're going to come back with new live broadcasting here on campus on IDC. So thank you again, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Really
Jeremy.
appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you very
We're
much.
going to be best friends after this, even though we just met today.
Absolutely.
So Israel Under Fire, this is our Facebook page. Stay tuned, write, comment, we'll post back. Thank you so much, right?
Absolutely. And spread the truth.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.